great support system, and BTBY has just supported Activate Your Power now, and yeah, I would say she has helped us become what we are, yes, because she's held space for us and believed in us.
And for those that are online that couldn't hear that, we're welcoming Brenda up to the stage because, as Izzy just said, she is a person that has held the space. You know, we talked a lot about here. Imaginings are about holding that space of love and helping create and helping friends expand into what they are to be. So come on up.
Yes. Hey, Bren.
How's everybody?
Good.
Well, my name is Brenda Ringwood. I go by Bren. You're probably wondering why I have this crown in my head, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Tonight we're talking about imagination. What does it mean? It means to be creative, to make something from nothing, to insert yourself into a future that you can see yourself in. When I was a little girl, I imagined being a mom. You imagine that wedding. You imagine that wedding dress. You imagine life as a wife and mother. As a kid, we also imagine what Christmas morning is going to look like. We imagine great things for our life, right? But also, people steal our imagination. They steal our dreams. They steal the things that we want to be. But it's because you let them. Because do they really take it, or do you let them have it? So for me, I used to struggle with my self-image. And I used to imagine a life without judgment. I used to imagine a life where people actually loved each other. Could you imagine a life if the currency was love? What would that look like? If love was the currency, could you imagine what life would be like? We would actually love people instead of judging people. So I teach a speaking class, and I was just in class Sunday, and we talk about what you dress like on the stage. I don't normally show up in blue jeans and a t-shirt to speak. We just had this class, do we not? But tonight it's important because we're talking about judging. Imagine a world without judgment. Imagine a world with love. Imagine a world with magic. And when I think of imagination, you know who I think about? I think about Mickey Mouse. I think about Walt Disney, and he's from right here in Kansas City. He might not be from here, but he created Mickey Mouse right here. And he failed, but he still kept on imagining things. He was imagining a life with Mickey Mouse. He wanted to be somebody who could create his drawings that would come to life and bring happiness to other people. Did his dreams come true? Matter of fact, wasn't it called the Magic Kingdom? And what else did he say about making dreams come true? And then what kind of films did he create? Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Bambi, all of these great hits. He imagined this, and then they happened. So what are you imagining right now in your life that's going to make your life better? Because that's what imagination does. We are imagining a different life than what we're in. I write fiction novels. I like to imagine life outside of my life. I want to escape the real world, and I write fiction. And those novels are my imagination coming to life. And I pen them on paper. What does that look like? Anybody who writes a book, that's imagination. Even if it's a story about yourself, you look back at what you just wrote. And would you imagine that you got through it when you were going through it? Would you have imagined it at that time, that you were going to make it through? Most of us don't. So I was a young girl, imagining being a wife and a mother, and all those things happened. And I imagined that I would be a business owner, and that happened. But then I was still struggling with self-esteem. I was struggling with what people thought. I was struggling with becoming a person that somebody else wanted me to be and not myself. So now I was losing my imagination. I was losing the person that I really wanted to be because I was listening to other people. I was letting fear and doubt and insecurities and what other people thought control my life. So I imagined a place where that wasn't going to exist. And I imagined myself speaking to people about it. Not to just one person or 10 people or 100 people. Imagine myself thinking about this and speaking around the world. How many of you guys imagine yourself in a different life? What's stopping you from having that life? The only person stopping you is you. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about a life where your mindset is happy with everything you have. Sees the good in every situation. Sees what's going to happen next that they can change the outcome for yourself or for other people. So I created Becoming the Best You. And it was a platform where I could imagine what I wanted for my life. And that started about 3 years ago. And I thought, it's just in my imagination. It's not going to happen, right? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But my imagination kept saying, yes, it will. And because I kept saying to my imagination, okay, I'm listening, it happened. And I decided that fear was not going to rule my life. And I decided that I was going to rule my kingdom from there on out. And that everything that I imagined was going to happen. So now I wear my crown just like I imagined. Just like I imagined. See, you don't have to be a princess in royalty. You can be your own princess. You can rule your own kingdom. You're not going to let fear do it, or doubt, or insecurities, or self-image, or what other people think, or the fact that you don't have much money. Who cares? Are you happy? Are you living the life the way you want? Because let me tell you, I had the money, and the cars, and the house, and the businesses, and the people, and I would trade it all for everything I got right now. And it's called happiness. Because we love, and we build relationships, and we rule our own kingdom. And now everything we imagine can come true because we allow us to imagine that it can. See, imagination is one thing, but to believe that imagination can happen to you, that's a completely different feeling. Because when you believe it can happen and then it does, now I can believe in you because it happened to me. I can believe in you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and everybody in here. Because I've witnessed it firsthand. The only thing that's stopping you from having those dreams come true is yourself. And I'm going to leave it with that and remind you guys to rule your